Money is the driving force for our day-to-day lives. We go to school to get an education to make money. We wake up in the morning and go to work to make money. The need for money is so insurmountable that sometimes we have to forego our hobbies to make it. However, there are times where those hobbies are what make us money. Stephen Curry, LeBron James, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes all made over $40 million from playing sports, which start off as a humble way to have some fun with your friends. The games have spiraled into an affair where the players at the top can make money to cover lifetimes. A similar amount of money, though at a much lower scale, has recently come to esports. The World Electronic Sports Games 2016 featured a prize pool of $1.5 million for CSGO. Riot Games' League of Legends World Championship in 2018 bolstered a prize pool of $6.4 million. The 2019 Fortnite World Cup Finals had a prize pool of $30 million, and the peak of prize pools, the International 10, a Dota 2 tournament, had a prize pool of $40 million. All of these games have admirable prize pools for sure, but one genre is noticeably absent from these numbers despite having some of the most passionate players. That is, of course, fighting games. Fighting games have been notorious for having low prize pools. The highest recorded prize pool at EVO, the Super Bowl of fighting games, was a mere $72,000 for Ultra Street Fighter 4 in 2015. There have been higher prize pools at other events, but they come nowhere near the behemoths that other games have. Why is this? Why do fighting games have such little money compared to other genres? Well, let's take a look at what fighting games lack and what they can learn from other games to grow. Of course, there will be exceptions to these issues, but generally they'll apply. While fighting games have been slowly improving their online systems, they're still a long way from being passable. Most fighting games have very poor netcode, leading to a subpar online experience. This can make it extremely frustrating to play the game, as you can often fall victim to mistakes that aren't even your fault, and it can be hard to tell whether it's you or the game that's making you lose. This makes in-person play far superior to playing online, which is far less accessible than just turning on the game and playing. Often you're not just fighting your opponent, but also the game's online system. Some of the most popular fighting games, like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Tekken 7, and Street Fighter V, for example, fall victim to this and can lead many players to quitting. Even beyond the actual gameplay, getting into a game can be its own battle. Fighting games have a lot of issues even when you're just trying to get into a game. Long start time, lack of a rematch button, forcibly taking you away from your opponent after just 3 games. The online fighting game experience is lackluster even outside of netcode, and that makes it frustrating before even your first loss. It's often extremely clunky and unideal to get into a game, and it is really a nuisance that can turn some people off from playing the game, and it needs to be solved. In most online video games, I can just turn it on and hit the play button and get right into a match. In fighting games, I have to jump through 10 hoops, and after just playing 3 games, I have to jump through them again. Fighting games are hard. To get good at them, you have to continuously lose over and over again until you reach mastery. And for the average person, that doesn't feel too good. But sometimes that is all you can do in a fighting game. Go online and get knocked out time and time again. There's not really that much casual stuff you can do sometimes. And if it's there, it's lackluster. If I spent $60, maybe even more with DLC on a game and that happened to me, I'd be pretty frustrated. I'd turn off the game and be less likely to try out another fighting game because I feel like I'd have the same experience. First and most importantly, a good online system is 100% mandatory. No communicating with servers, no fail to matchmake, no delay-based netcode, none of that. Getting into a game online must be streamlined and as easy as getting into one offline. Make use of your player base. Don't put me into a lobby with 30 to 60 people that can lead me to waiting a while. Match me with anyone I may have a good connection with, and if it's ranked, with people I'm around the same skill level of. Let me just boot up the game, hit the play button, and get into the game like I can with any of these top esport games. Maintaining an active and healthy player base is also something that needs to happen. Crossplay is completely mandatory. Let me play with my friends that have the game on other platforms. Don't make me buy the game again to do so. This also increases the active player base, and it's not just limited to the people who have the game on the same platform as you. This allows you to find more matches and play with more people, allowing the players to pick any console they want, and it creates a unified player base. Another thing that needs to happen is for fighting game devs to add more ways to enjoy the game without necessarily being good at it. Some have already hit this benchmark. Mortal Kombat has a robust arcade and story mode, making it a worthwhile purchase just for that. Dragon Ball FighterZ 2 has hit this, not with its story, which is quite lackluster, but with its varieties of modes that change the rules of the game as well as the raid bosses. It keeps me coming back to the game to enjoy it with friends, even if I'm not very competitive anymore. Now here's where things are gonna get divisive. If fighting games are going to go big, something big needs to change, specifically in monetization. Here's what I suggest. Go the free-to-play route. Tear down the $60 barrier of entry. Anybody could try the game at no cost, and they'll stick around if they like it. And even if they don't, they still might want to spectate and watch other people play, as they'll be more familiar with the mechanics of the game. And fighting games are already pretty simple to understand from a spectator's perspective. The person with more health is winning, and the person who's getting hit is losing. And more viewers means more money. But how do you monetize the game otherwise? Well, my suggestion is to keep the current $60 plus DLC model that's already there, but to add another option to play the game for free. What you would get from this option is the access to online play, offline play, and training mode, giving you the core of what's necessary to play the game. You'd get a few characters for free as well as a rotating lineup of other characters for you to try before you buy. And if you end up liking them, you'd buy them either with in-game currency or real money. But you wouldn't be able to take them to ranked before you pay for them. You'd pay for alternate costumes and colors, and of course if you do end up liking the game, you'd be able to purchase the whole thing for $60 and get access to all the colors, costumes, and other content like the story mode and the arcade mode. This would allow players to pay for what they want rather than force them to pay for stuff they may not. If they just want to boot up Tekken and play Jin, they'd be able to do that for free, and they might buy a few costumes for him. The free-to-play model has been proven to work time and time again, with some aforementioned games like League and Fortnite. However, the question still remains, will this model work for fighting games? Well, there is one game that proves it, and it is the most popular fighting game on Steam. Brawlhalla is a free-to-play platform fighter available on every console and mobile devices. It has great netcode, great lobbies, and a play button. The way Brawlhalla makes its money is by selling skins and starting you off with a set of characters. You can buy more with in-game currency, which you get just by logging in, completing challenges, or by purchasing it with real-life money. And hey, it even has those beloved Street Fighter characters too, and many other crossovers. So what about the prize pools for this game? The highest Street Fighter prize pool of all time was the Capcom Cup 2017, with a prize pool of $380,000. Brawlhalla, on the other hand, recently announced a circuit with $1 million, so it's proven to work. But what are the odds that other fighting games pick up on this? Well, in the future, two upcoming fighting games, Multiverses, Warner Bros.' take on the platform fighter, is also free to play and will likely monetize itself similarly. And Project L, the Runeterra fighting game, will also most likely be following the same model as well. The future is looking bright for them. Fighting games are my favorite genre, and I'd only like to see them grow. Hopefully, the future holds that for them, and we can see top players live off their winnings. Until next time, see ya.